Bonjour à tous et bienvenue pour une nouvelle vidéo. Moi c'est Opai Sensei et aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour une nouvelle découverte, sur le jeu The Stanley Parable. Donc un jeu indépendant sorti en 2013. Un jeu totalement barré, hein. C'est un jeu troll. C'est un jeu créé par des développeurs uniquement pour troller les joueurs. Que le but du jeu il n'a pas vraiment. On suit les instructions du narrateur ou on les suit pas. Comme vous pouvez le voir déjà dans l'introduction, on voit ici l'écran de l'ordinateur qui filme l'écran, qui filme l'écran, qui filme l'écran. Donc c'est vraiment un jeu déconnade, c'est un jeu unique en son genre, j'en ai jamais vu d'autres pareil. Là c'est drôle. Le jeu comporte 18 fins je crois. J'ai pas fait toutes les fins, j'ai pas fait la dernière parce qu'elle est trop longue. Du coup je vais lancer le jeu, ce sera le plus parlant. Hop. Chargement. Même dans la description du jeu sur Steam, les mecs ils trollent. Allez voir la description du jeu sur Steam, c'est magnifique.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
L'histoire d'un homme appelé
Stanley
Stanley.
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number
L'employé 427, c'est horrible d'être rappelé par un numéro.
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Ouais, magnifique.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order
Comment il se
had
fout de la
arrived
gueule
on the
des employés de
monitor
bureau.
for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened.
Ah, je serais trop content à sa place, moi.
Isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk.
Donc on a le
and
choix,
stepped out of his
soit on
office.
suit ses instructions, donc on sort du bureau, soit on reste dans le bureau et il y a une fin en fait ici. Je vais pas la faire tout de suite. De toute façon le but c'est pas de vous faire toutes les fins, c'est juste montrer le jeu.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Là pour l'instant on va suivre les instructions du narrateur. Elle est où la salle de réunion? Ah, pas le choix.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Bon, on va à gauche ou on va à droite? Ah j'ai envie de le faire chier, on va à droite.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Vous avez vu, le narrateur sait quand on prend pas le bon chemin. Et si on prend le bon chemin, il le sait aussi. Donc le dialogue s'adapte en conséquence.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after
Non,
all.
je reste pas.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the
Vous voyez, j'ai pas
first
suivi
open
les
door on his
instructions, j'étais
left.
impatient, du coup le dialogue s'est adapté. Je suis mieux pour pousser.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
J'en ai marre de la vie, je vais être envoyé.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform
J'avais
and
oublié
plunged
ça.
to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Merci, merci, merci. Donc en fait, dans le jeu, vous incarnez Stanley et toutes les actions que vous pouvez faire dans le jeu ont été anticipées par les développeurs. L'idée générale, c'est que y a des joueurs qui aiment bien chercher les limites du jeu, voir si toutes les possibilités, voir si les développeurs ont tout anticipé. Du coup, c'est ce que propose ce jeu. On peut vous suicider, le jeu en tient compte. Le jeu en tient compte parce qu'il a anticipé.
When Stanley came to a set of two
On va
open
passer par la bonne
doors,
porte.
he entered the door on his left.
Je vais peut-être être un peu vite. Ah, la
Yet
salle de
there was
réunion.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ah oui, le placard. Hop.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here,
Non.
so he turned around
Non,
and got
je ne
back
reviendrai
on
pas
track.
sur mes pas. Je suis bien dans le placard. On est bien dans le placard.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Vous voyez, ils ont anticipé le fait que les joueurs peuvent rentrer dans le placard et y rester juste pour voir ce qui se passe.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even
Il
doing
faisait rien
anything.
du tout.
At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there.
Il foutait
doing
strictement
sweet
rien.
FA.
Bon, on va attendre encore. Hein.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please
Parce que-
offer me some
parce que-
explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Parce que j'ai envie de voir la suite, tout simplement. Parce que c'est drôle de faire n'importe quoi.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the
Ouais,
story.
bien sûr.
Whatsoever.
Les mecs ils ont écrit des pavés
I never
de
would have
texte
thought to mention
dans le
it.
placard, mais ils n'y ont pas pensé.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was
C'est
my
exactement ça.
favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Ah,
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
quel
He
bâtard.
probably only
Quel
got the job
enculé.
because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Il
That
était
old
con à ce
drug
point-là.
man. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Il est accro aux drogues, aux putes.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
Tu dois être
You're
mort.
dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place
Le
at the
bâtard, c'est juste pour me remplacer,
making
en fait.
sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in
C'est
video
génial.
gaming,
Ce jeu est
so that
génial.
the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Non, je reste là. Dites-moi en commentaire si vous avez déjà joué à ce jeu et si vous connaissez un jeu similaire. Que ça m'intéresse, c'est vrai que ce jeu c'est vraiment pas mal. Même si à première vue il n'y a rien à faire, mais c'est drôle en fait. Bon, je sais plus s'il y a une suite. Il y a peut-être une suite, mais je me souviens plus. Mais en même temps, là j'ai la flemme d'attendre encore.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't
Le
do
joueur
any
deux.
worse than the person who came before you.
Attends, je peux y retourner.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Est-ce qu'on peut retourner dedans? Là, il n'y a plus rien. C'est possible qu'en attendant un petit peu, il y a encore des dialogues, mais là, j'en ai marre.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bon, ok, vas-y. On va l'écouter un petit peu.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input
Oui,
the
le fruit
correct
du hasard,
code
oui.
by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question
Parce que c'était un mouton, Stanley, un esclave.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Non, je vais par là. Par qu'on peut s'échapper.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his...
Ah, c'est bien, au moins il prévient. Je sais plus si on meurt vraiment.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Putain, mais c'est un chemin sans fin en fait.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ou je tombe dans un four? Ah non, je meurs vraiment. Ah non, je suis pas mort. En même temps, il a dit mort violente.
Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise. He reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
On voit rien ici.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story. Trapped
Ah non, mais je vais me faire broyer en fait.
Of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man.
Quel
So he
bâtard.
resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Adieu les gens. Non.
Farewell,
bâtard.
Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the
préfère
machine
décrire la
crushed
mort que la
every
montrer.
bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Bon. Qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant? Ah. Il n'y a pas de lumière
And
là,
yet
on
it
voit
would
rien.
be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Là, il se troll le même quoi.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you
Ah ouais,
see
c'est la
now?
fin, musée.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Les crédits du jeu.
Stanley pushed the big red button. Stanley stood on the roof.
Là, c'est le générateur.
When Stanley came to the lift, he turned.
Du coup, je sais plus ce que je dois faire. Je crois qu'il faut juste que je redémarre la partie. J'ai pas trop lu ce qui était marqué.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop
Oh no.
the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit.
Putain, mais c'est des sadiques en fait. Il me faut croire que je vais mourir pour me retuer ensuite.
Move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and be the only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
Là, ça y est, cette fois, je suis mort. On l'a bien entendu. On a entendu le splatch. Non, le jeu est pas bloqué. En fait, là, le jeu est en train de me troller. Je suis obligé de le redémarrer si je veux... Si je veux sortir de là. Putain, les bâtards. En même temps, il m'avait prévenu. Hop. Du coup, vous l'aurez compris, ce jeu c'est vraiment du grand n'importe quoi. Vous suivez le narrateur, vous le suivez pas, vous faites ce que vous voulez. Il se passera toujours quelque chose. J'aime bien, ça c'est assez drôle. Donc on va rester là pour aujourd'hui. Je vais pas faire les autres fins parce que c'est qu'une découverte. Mais si jamais vous voulez voir la suite, dites-le moi en commentaire. Et si vous êtes nombreux à en faire la demande, d'ici quelques semaines ou quelques mois, bah, je ferai les autres fins sauf une, qui est la fin la plus longue du jeu, où il faut appuyer pendant 4 heures sur un bouton. 4 heures pour sauver un bébé des flammes. Et j'ai pas envie de faire ça, et j'ai pas envie de sauver le bébé de toute façon. Donc du coup, si la vidéo vous a plu, abonnez-vous. N'oubliez pas d'appuyer sur la cloche pour recevoir les notifications. Lâchez un pouce bleu, ça fait toujours plaisir, et puis du coup, moi, c'est mon courage. Et je vous dis à la prochaine, pour une autre vidéo.